Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this show we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Mitch. Let's get right into the news. So, support falls for Prime Minister Takaichi. Public support for Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has been falling after the government prioritized several controversial conservative laws. Takaichi entered office with high approval ratings and won a strong mandate in the February election. However, recent polls suggest that voters have become less satisfied with her government over time. A Mainichi Shimbun poll found that cabinet approval had fallen by 10% percentage points to 41%. Analysts say that many voters expected the government to focus on rising prices and other cost of living problems. But instead, Takaichi used her large parliamentary majority to advance legislation connected with conservative social and national issues. One new law makes it a crime to publicly damage or desecrate a Japanese national flag. The maximum punishment is 2 years in prison or a fine of 200,000 yen. Supporters say that the law protects an important national symbol, and critics say that its wording is vague and could restrict freedom of expression. The government also revised the Imperial House law. The revision allows princesses to retain their royal status after marrying commoners and permits the adoption of distant male line relatives into the imperial family. However, it maintains the rule that only male descendants from the paternal line can become emperor. This means that Princess Aiko remains unable to inherit the throne despite strong public support for allowing a female emperor. Critics say these policies appeal to many of the conservative wing of the Liberal Democratic Party and do little to address the economic concerns of ordinary voters. The decline in approval does not immediately threaten Takaichi's position because her party still holds a strong majority. However, it shows that her political support may weaken further if the government does not make visible progress on inflation and other household expenses. The top Reddit comment on this is, "The yen is crashing and she worries about desecrating the flag and preventing a female emperor. She should be escorted out of the Diet, eyes bleary from not sleeping enough, right onto a plane bound for Mar-a-Lago. Then she can dance her nights away." I've been saying this from the beginning. The Takaichi government has no policies. Their policies are, we're going to adopt things that happen in the news. Like, let's make it difficult for people to get visas. Let's kick out half the foreign population. Let's make non-issues about desecrating the Japanese flag, which no one's doing anyways. But they are failing to address the deep-seated economic problems that are happening in Japan right now. There was actually a debate the other day. I forgot who the other politician was, between Takaichi and a male politician, where she said, we should fight for the economic future of Japan and blah, 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 and the guy just stands up and he's like, yeah, you can cheer for the economic recovery of Japan, but that's not an economic policy. You need to actually have a policy. There doesn't seem to be really any leadership out of her cabinet, her office, when it comes to economic policy. Going on to the next story. Yen falls to the lowest level in nearly 40 years. The yen weakened to more than 163 yen against the US dollar on July 22nd. This was the lowest level since December 1986. The decline was partially linked to worsening tensions in the Middle East, which increased demand for a US dollar as a safer asset. Finance Minister Katayama declined to comment on a specific exchange rate level. However, she said the government remained prepared to take appropriate and decisive action if necessary. This was widely interpreted as another warning that Japan could intervene in the currency market by buying yen. A weaker yen increases the cost of imported fuel, food, and other products, adding further pressure to household expenses in Japan. The top Reddit comments included, "I lost count which decisive action she's talking about. Every week, same statement. We tried nothing and we're all out of ideas." So the weakening yen is a big problem for the Japanese economy, for people who are living here domestically, people who are living in Japan. The weakening yen is obviously a really good thing for incoming tourists. It makes the country a lot cheaper. It also opens up the country to other non-Europe, North American markets. Southeast Asia and places like that can now travel to Japan because it's a lot cheaper than it was before. The problem is, as I said before, is that imports become more and more expensive. And since all fuel, all gasoline is imported into Japan, if you have a gasoline car, your daily commute is going to be more expensive. And this kind of trickles down into a bunch of little products throughout the market. If fuel is more expensive, if the yen buys less oil, then that means that all of your imports are going to be more expensive because you bring them in on boats. And so and also produce, things that when we import so much food here from other countries, that becomes more expensive. And so these little tiny increases in the cost of living across a wide net of different products start to add up and nickel and dime the already very hard overworked population here. The good side of the weaker yen is it makes exports a lot more attractive to foreign markets. So if you're a Toyota or if you're a Nintendo or a Sony, you're looking at the weak yen as an opportunity to export more. And so there are going to be winners and losers as the yen continues to fall against the dollar. Some experts have said that it might go as far as 200 yen to the dollar in 1 or 2 years from now. It all depends on various things, but we'll have to just keep watching this and see what happens, because as of right now, we're at 163, which is just making it so I'm just not traveling out of the country. Let's move on. More than 10,000 people hospitalized for heat stroke in 1 week. More than 10,000 people were taken to the hospitals for heat stroke across Japan during the week ending in July 19th. Japan's Fire Disaster Management Agency reported 10,857 cases nationwide. This was more than twice the number recorded during the previous week. 14 people died. Another 4,382 people had severe or moderate symptoms and required hospitalization. A further 6,361 people had mild symptoms and did not need to remain in hospital. The agency described the rapid increase in heat stroke cases and deaths as a disaster-level situation. Officials are advising people to drink water regularly, use air conditioning, and take frequent breaks when working or exercising outside. So if you're visiting Japan right now, you know that Japan is hot right now. And we're talking record temperatures of, I think, over 40 degrees Celsius. Japanese record temperature. Let's see. The highest recorded temperature was last year at 41.8 degrees Celsius in Gunma Prefecture, and there have been already some places that got around 40, maybe even a little bit over 40 this year. So it's hot. It's also not your dry heat. So I'm from Las Vegas, where it's dry, and it gets really, really hot there. It's 50 something degrees Celsius there, or 48 or whatever it is. But it's dry. So when you sweat, your sweat evaporates, you cool off. And most of the time you don't go outside anyways, because people in America, they don't like the outside. So they go from inside their house to inside their car to the parking lot to inside a building, right? There's never walking outdoors unless you're in one of the very few pedestrian cities that America has, like New York or whatever. And so in Japan, where everything is very pedestrian, and people do have to take the train or walk outside and things like that, it is really hot here. And also the humidity is really just it is brutal. It is just brutal. And so if you come here during the summer, stay indoors as much as possible. Enjoy the nightlife. Japanese nights are very, very beautiful. And stay hydrated, as the disaster agency suggested. Continuing with the hot news, some urban cicadas are now singing at night. Japanese researchers have found that some cicadas in urban areas continue calling after dark. The team recorded cicada sounds at university campuses and protected green areas around Tokyo and Kanagawa during the summer of 2024. Nighttime calls were detected in urban locations, but were rare in greener areas without streetlights. Researchers believe that artificial lighting and higher temperatures caused by concrete and buildings may be changing the insects' normal daily rhythms. The findings suggest that urbanization could gradually alter the nighttime soundscape, with cicadas calling overlapping with crickets and other nocturnal insects. It's a staple of all Japanese anime is that, when it's summertime and they're in an outdoor scene, you always have the cicadas calling. And so now we're getting that more and more at night because, we humans are making the planet hotter and brighter. So we're changing the environment. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what we're doing. Also, if you guys ever get a chance to go to Amami or some of the southern islands, they have the cicada calls are weird sounding. Like, you can Google this, they're on YouTube and stuff like that. They just don't sound like a normal cicada. They just sound like, it almost sounds like a violin crying. It's very strange. It's very eerie. Also, the cicadas are huge on the islands. Okay, moving on. Kyoto restaurant denies charging foreigners higher prices. A Kyoto restaurant denied claims that it charged foreign customers more after a Korean YouTuber posted a viral video comparing its English and Japanese menus. The main example was a hot pot dish listed at 1,450 yen per person for the Japanese menu and 2,900 yen for two people on the English menu. The total price was the same. The restaurant said it does not use nationality-based pricing and blamed the video for a wave of negative reviews. However, the YouTuber argued that foreign customers were being directed towards a simplified menu featuring more expensive dishes. The dispute shows how separate menus for international visitors can create accusations of dual pricing, even when individual prices are unchanged. The comments on this, I did not see this video and I don't know this YouTuber, but the comments on this are blaming the YouTuber for knowingly causing this kind of fake uproar over nothing. And so I personally have seen English menus that contain mistakes, that are, old and out of date and things like that. And so sometimes there can be discrepancies between the Japanese menu and the English menu, and that's just life. A lot of these restaurant owners, they just don't speak English or they don't understand, foreign languages. But luckily, these days, there's technology to the rescue, and a lot of Japanese restaurants now use a QR code for ordering. This is good because not only can you order from your seat and you don't have to call the waitress or waiter over and order, freeing up an extra staff to do something else in the kitchen or whatever. And it also allows you to auto-translate using the translate feature of, Safari or Chrome or whatever you're using. And so you can get a translated version of the Japanese menu. And that, since that's the only one menu that they have, it's always updated real time. And then all of the prices and everything is all in the either on the web page, or if they make you install an app, then through the app and things like that. So it's really, really convenient now. So that will be less and less of a thing going forward, I'm sure. Okay. Continuing with the theme of foreign visitors. Foreign visitors spend 2.5 trillion yen in Japan. Foreign visitors spent an estimated 2.51 trillion yen in Japan between April and June 2026. This was an increase of 0.2% from the same period last year. American visitors spent the most overall at 384.8 billion yen. Taiwan ranked second, followed by China. Spending by Chinese visitors fell by almost 49% compared with the same time the previous year. The average visitor spent around 244,000 yen. So what is that in dollars? That's like about $1,700. Mexican visitors spent the most per person, averaging approximately 515,000 yen per person. Visitors from the Middle East and the United Kingdom also recorded high average spending. Actually, Ricky was the one that told me about this. I didn't know that Mexico has a huge anime and manga fandom there. So I could see, all of these tourists coming in from Mexico and just like loving, all of the places they go shopping and, just really, really having a ball. Also, I think that the people from Mexico that do get to travel to places like Japan are probably more higher up on the socioeconomic ladder than your average citizen, so they're probably going to spend more. Okay, so our last story today is about Nintendo and Pokemon and about patents. Nintendo's Pal World related patent rejected in Japan. Nintendo has suffered a setback involving a patent connected to its legal dispute with Pal World developer Pocket Pair, I guess. The Japanese Patent Office rejected the patent. The patent covers a system in which a player selects and throws an object to capture a creature in a video game. The Patent Office reportedly decided that the idea was not inventive enough to qualify for a patent protection. So basically, they're talking about the Pokeball, right? So as evidence, it cited a 13-year-old gameplay video from an unofficial fan project called Pokemon Generations. The video showed a player throwing a Pokeball to capture a Pokemon. Nintendo objected to the use of this video. The company argued that the patent office had acted inappropriately by citing a game that may have infringed Pokemon copyrights. The patent office responded that possible copyright infringement had no effect on whether the proposed patent was inventive. It also said that replacing names such as Ash, Pikachu, and Pokeball with generic descriptions would not change the reasoning behind the rejection, because in their filings, they said you shouldn't have said, Pikachu, you should have said a small yellow animal and things like that. It's just, they're kind of like the patent office and Nintendo are kind of like going back and forth. They're having like a little bit of a hissy fight. Nintendo has challenged the decision, and the rejection is now under review. This is not the main patent at the center of Nintendo and the Pokemon Company's lawsuit against Pocket Pair. However, it belongs to the same patent family and could still affect the wider legal dispute. So, if you guys have been following this news story, it's been going on for many years, and the Pal World game is basically like Pokemon with guns. I've never played it, but when it came out, like everybody's like, "Hey, is this okay? This is like copyright infringement." Like everybody like picked up on it, and so Nintendo sued because Nintendo's always going to sue. And then it's the common thinking on the internet is that Pal World is going to lose this lawsuit. I think they've already got like several like court injunction holds against them and whatever. I mean, it's just like this long going thing, but yeah. Good luck to both sides. So our last story today, actually, this is our last story today. Let me start off with talking about a concept that they have in Japan called Cool Biz. Cool Biz is this policy that the government enacted years and years ago, like 20, 30 years ago, where they want to turn down their air conditioning in official government offices. So they let people wear casual business casual instead of like full-blown suits. And then some politicians recently have said, hey, maybe we should even let the guys wear short pants to work. I've been known to sometimes show up to work in short pants. Not gonna lie, it is a very hot summer in Japan. So this is where this next story is coming from. So a debate over men wearing shorts in Japanese offices has drawn attention under the term sunehara, meaning leg hair harassment. The term suggests that visible male leg hair could make coworkers uncomfortable, but it does not appear to be a major workplace issue. It gained attention after a men's hair removal company used it in its marketing. The discussion returned after Tokyo expanded its Cool Biz policy to allow more casual clothing, including shorts during hot weather. A survey found that more than half of workers opposed men wearing shorts at work, and some women said that they disliked seeing leg hair. However, this survey was conducted by a company that sells hair removal services. The main conclusion is that leg hair harassment is mostly a media and marketing term and not a serious issue for workplace harassment. Hooray. So if you got hairy legs, men, you don't need to worry about it, because it was just a marketing ploy. Well, I think that's the news for today. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, let's get into a little bit of personal stuff. Hi, everybody. Hi. So we're done with the news. I don't know if you can see this. I'm kind of burned. Like I went to the ocean. I went to the Umi on Umi no Ki. I went to the ocean on Ocean Day. And I used Japanese sunscreen for the first time in my life because my American sunscreen ran out, and I forgot to buy. I haven't been to America in a while. Last time I went to America, I think it was like, think it was like 2023. Yeah, it was like 2023. And so my sunscreen ran out. And so I used Japanese sunscreen. Big mistake. That shit doesn't do anything. That shit does nothing, man. It does nothing. So I got burned. I put on 3 times and I still got burned. And that's after I got burned at Ogionsa, which is like the get your butts out. I'll actually I'll put the link to this video in the video description of, we produced a video on this event. It's like, carry the portable shrine around town and shake it so the god inside sees that everybody's super Genki and, gives us prosperity or whatever. I don't know. It's an excuse to get a bunch of guys out with their butts out. And I film it for them because they want me to participate. And I don't want to participate, so I told them I'll film it. And then that's what we do. Anyways, I got sunburned from that. And then like 10 days later, I go to the beach and get another sunburn. I'm like, I'm just gonna kill my skin. So I really need to be careful here. So I ordered American sunscreen from iHerb, which is like a godsend here in Japan for buying toiletries and other stuff like that online that's not sold here regular. Most Japanese toiletries are great. Some of them are just toothpaste, garbage. Yeah, sunscreen, garbage. I think that's everything. Oh, and yeah, you need to get deodorant from the States or some non-Japanese place. They have deodorant here. They started selling Old Spice deodorant in Don Quixote in Japan. That's a step up. But it's like 1,100 yen for 1 stick of Old Spice. How much is this shit in the States? Old Spice deodorant. How much are you? It's giving me yen. US dollars. No. Let's find out. Walmart. $7.97? Is this? Oh, it's for a 2-pack. Okay. Wow. Yeah, all you Americans out there, how's life? Everything seems so expensive in America right now. Like, so you guys went through like the huge inflation and everything. That's totally Biden's fault. It's not Biden's fault. And also now that gas prices and all that other stuff are up as well. Yeah. How are you guys faring out there? How's everything over there? You guys doing okay? You guys need a hug? You can come over to Japan, spend some of that USD here. Oh, I'm going to be opening a bar cafe, probably, maybe. More on that later, some other time. Maybe I'll talk about that with the patrons next. But yeah, some other time on that one. What else is new? Not new going on right now. Yeah. Everything. I gave a talk like a couple of episodes ago. We're worried about some things that were going on with some of my crew. They're all good. We're all good. All my crew are good. So that's good. Yeah. Not much happening in Japan these days. Oh yeah, there was a news story about, so like one of the like major faults in Japan. It's not the trough. I always forget the name of that trough. Japan trough. Nope. Mega quake. See, this is why I went through all the news first, so we don't have to do this. The Nankai trough. It's not that. It's a different one. They like found it. Oh no, it is the No, I lied. It is the Nankai trough, and they found that it's shifting, but like not how they thought it was going to shift. So now they're like question mark. So if you guys don't know this, there's this Nankai trough. Oh, I didn't hook up my computer to show my computer. I'll just put it on the screen later. It basically like, if this thing goes off, if it kicks, it's like the end of the world for Japan. We're all fucked. And they're like, that might happen. Or not. We're not sure. It's like, you guys are super helpful. It's just like our volcano. We have a volcano here. It's like 4 kilometers from me. And it's one of the biggest volcanoes in the world. It's pretty cool, actually, Sakurajima. And yeah, they're always like, yeah, it could blow, but probably not. So you're like, okay. Whatever. And then now they're saying that like Fuji might erupt, but it won't erupt from the center. It'll erupt from the side because it's like the whole thing is shifted from the magma chimney pipe thing, whatever it's called. Yeah. So, oh, and yeah, another European, second death on Fuji recently. He's like the president of a euthanasia company, and he died on climbing Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji's no joke, guys. It's not a joke. I know people are like, oh, you can just casually do it. No, it's not a joke. I've never done it, but I know people have it. Just like, it's not a joke. They're like, yeah, I was like gravely unprepared for this hike. This is a really serious hike. So if you guys are gonna do Mount Fuji, I'm not ever gonna do that. But if you guys do it, prepare. It's not easy. Also, don't go there when it's closed. All those people that go there when it's closed, what's wrong with these people? All right, well, I think that's been our show today. I'm going to give a little message to our patrons after this, and I'm going to say hello to them. And then, yeah, that's been the news. So hopefully things get a little bit better so that we have that locked and loaded, ready to do something about the weakening yen. What was her name? Yeah, she's totally going to do something. Totally going to do something. What is her name? Katayama. She's totally going to do it. Finance Minister Katayama. She's got this, guys. She's got this. The yen's coming back. Totally coming back. So actually, here's the thing. The yen has to fail. So Japan has too much internal debt. Their debt to GDP ratio is like 240%. Japan debt to GDP ratio, 234 to 250%. So the line of no return is like where America is right now, which is like 120, 125, something like that. So there's no way that they can possibly pay it back. And so what they have to do is they have to blow up their currency. It's the only real way that this is going to work. They just have to hard reset on everything. Just, you just shake the Etch-a-Sketch. Just one big shake. And everything will be fine after that. That's the only way this is going to get fixed. Because, yeah, it's not going to get fixed if everything stays normal. So, yeah, so I think everybody in the government knows that step one, yen needs to blow up to 300 yen to the dollar. And then you're going to have to go through like a decade of austerity. And then maybe if there is like some super crazy technological changes out there in the world, that maybe after some other resets in other markets, the positioning of the yen versus the other countries and, things like that, economic prosperity might return to Japan. And all the politicians kind of know this, but none of them have the balls to say that to the public, because if they said it to the public, like, that's just going to be like, they say like, if you knew there was going to be a giant earthquake, would you tell the public, or would you just like let it happen because the panic might kill more people than the actual earthquake? It's like that. So we're just waiting. Wait, see what happens. Don't invest in the yen. All right, guys, that's been our show. I'm gonna talk to the patrons. I'll see you guys when I see you. I'll probably have Nazi on next time. I said it last time, but she was busy, so I'll get her next time. She'll be fine. She's kind of useless though. I ask her questions. She doesn't know shit about shit. I have to like teach her and then ask her opinion about it, and then she doesn't have an opinion because she just learned about it that day. It's not a very political person. You ever just ask her like simple questions like, hey, Dusky, where do we get the best bowl of ramen in Tokyo? Maybe she can do that. I'm kidding, Natsuki. If you're listening to this, I love you. Okay, guys, that's been our show. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't. There's a link to support us with your Patreon in the video description. We will see you guys when we see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.